Welcome back to Los Caballeros Sports Village in Fountain Valley, California. It is the USHA Four-Wall National Handball Championships. My name is Dave Vincent, as the Flying Cordobas, Luis and Daniel, going up against Marco Chavez and Sean Lenning here in the men's open doubles final, with Luis Cordova wearing the blue shirt, now residing in El Paso, Texas. His brother in Atlanta, Georgia. Technically Loganville.
Welcome to the open final doubles. We got Lucho Cordova and Dan Cordova against Marcos Chavez and Sean Lenning.
And you heard the announcement there from the referee.
Play in 0, serve 0.
And 0 serve 0, and a very first serve is a short. Marco Chavez looks like he's going to be the one that they're going to pick on, as we welcome in Martin Mulkerns here.
Point.
And Martin, you know all about these Cordobas. You played them last night, and Luis just got hit square in the eye with that punch fist shot from Marco Chavez.
It seemed to hit him right in the goggle. He's okay.
But his serves last night were pretty darn good, weren't they?
Yeah, I think especially in the tiebreaker.
Replay 1 serve 0.
Obviously, myself and Killian had just won the second game 21-10, so we had a good momentum coming into that tiebreaker. But Luis, I think they must have got at least 5 ace serves between them, and I think Luis got 4 of those, and that's worth a lot in a game to 11 when half of your points are coming from, and there's no rally.
Yeah, that's right. Luis is arguing that no call from the ref. He felt there was some congestion there. Oh my goodness, first serve from Marcos goes right into the floor.
Yeah, I think he just seemed to, it's probably happened as all at some stage, stand up and just not think about it. Didn't decide whether he's going left or right or what he was doing.
Could be a case of just being over comfortable.
Marco seems a little bit heavy on the feet here.
Point.
That was a gettable ball.
1 serve 1. Point. Two serve 1.
Oh, incredible shot by Daniel. It looked like it should have to go left.
Let me get the fan.
That was a sneaky little inside out.
Hold on, Lucho. Get the fan.
Shot right there from Daniel. I mean, he had both Sean and Marcos pulled over to the left side. He goes and pokes it right down that right wall. That was a nice shot.
Referee's holding up the play here, just looking for the fan to be put on. Court is pretty wet, as you can see, for the ladies' match.
Resume play, 1 serves 2.
I'd expect a lot of slides.
Sean should take care of this.
Half out.
Marcos just so close to Sean. He turned his back and Sean took that extra step to let it drop, and they almost collided up there. Marcos has one of the best back wall games in the business, but you seem to have to concede to Sean Lenning when he has that set up.
One serves 2. Short. I called short. They both agree.
Second serve. Seems very congested here early on. There's been quite a few playovers.
Replay, 1 serves 2.
1 serves 2. You'd have to say that's sort of the standard with doubles, but
Thank you.
now it's starting to slide, so we're going to throw that into the mix.
Replay, 1 serves 2.
You have to think that ball that hit Luis earlier is still wet, and then it hits that deep left wall, which has always been wet in this facility. And if it doesn't slide, there's a problem, and there's some congestion and no call from the ref. He just plays through it, and it's a side out.
We were having this argument yesterday. I think we've talked about this before. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but in that scenario there, I feel like Luis was hindered. Now,
Right. Yeah.
let him have the shot. He misses it. I don't see why it cannot be a play. I know people say, oh, you can't have your cake and eat it, but I don't see why not. In every other sport, as far as I can see, the offensive player will have an advantage there.
Yeah, no, it's a.
Second serve.
I toggle with this myself because I think certain scenarios it's okay, and then I look at the other angle of that and say, well, if he makes it, he gets it, and if he misses it, he gets to do it over. I mean,
the way I describe it, David, if you're a soccer player and you're running in on the goal, and the other player decides to pull your jersey, you're being a bit disadvantaged, but you don't want the free kick there. You want to try break away and have the chance to
so
go.
as you're falling backwards, you kick the ball into the net.
You don't want the free.
You don't want the, you don't want the free, you want the goal. Yeah, you're going to take the goal, in fact. If they don't give it to you, there's going to be a riot.
You know what I mean? I don't
totally
understand
get it.
basketball, but if you're running up for a layup, he touches you, you get your 2 points to the layup, and you get an extra shot.
The +1.
You know, I don't see why there isn't a... It's not even a +1. It's just giving the offensive player every advantage in that scenario.
Yeah.
I think it actually makes life easier for the referee, because what I see a lot is referee either says, no, I gave you the shot, or else they say, play over.
Yeah.
And nearly every time he does that, it's a rollout, and the other player's looking up and like, oh my God.
Well, that's why I've said to you before when we've talked about this, I like it as long as it's not made public that that's what you're doing. You just have to do it.
This was in Atlanta.
Right. I mean, that's if the referee just does it, then nobody really questions it, because if it's a quick call, they won't know what your philosophy is.
Okay, so do it, but just don't
Do
say
it, just don't put it on writing that that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, I do.
I mean, other referees have that philosophy in other sports. There's unwritten rules.
Well, I do it anyway.
It's fine. I have actually myself done it like that too. But you have to make a quick call, because if you don't, it creates a little bit of controversy.
But you still go in at the start and you tell them, if you take the shot, I'm giving you the shot. If you take it, tough luck. But then when you ref it, you give it to them.
Yeah, I agree.
Second serve.
I agree. Yeah, I mean,
Side out. 6, serving 2.
nice dig right there from Marcos.
Side out, half out.
That's a smart second shot there from Daniel. He didn't get it on the first one, but the second time he clipped the right side wall. That made all the difference. 6-2.
Point.
Make that 7-2. Yeah, that serve from Sean is just unreal.
I think it was Killian was asking me, can you get as many of those cracked serves with the Irish ball? I think with the race for 8 ball, the WPH ball and the 21, that when you hit that natural with the right hand, and if it does hit the crack, it just stays down and rolls out like you just saw there.
Yeah.
Probably more so at the WPH ball. I think if you connect, it has that bit more grip on it maybe. Or
does it? Well, I've just been seeing Sean do it all week, and I'm thinking, I have not seen anybody do it as much as him.
Well, he's going for it.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
Replay, 8, serving 2.
As good as the Cordova served yesterday, I think Sean definitely has the most dangerous serve in there. If he gets going,
Point.
He just hits a deep crack on that one. I mean, we saw earlier when he started this tournament, hit 7 out of the first 11 points were from cracks, and the other 2 of those 11 points was when Marcos was serving. So that didn't count. So 7 out of 9 times he served. Look at Sean and Marcos both diving in, and they get a point on that one, and it looked like Sean was going after that ball. Marcos is the one that re-killed it.
10, 7-2.
I've been impressed so far with Marcus's retrieving ability. He's been really good inside the lines.
That was
And
actually good.
he played earlier in the 40 doubles.
Play it again.
They went to a tiebreaker twice
10, 7-2.
in 4 rounds of play there, and he won that. And Sean makes another one. It looks like it could have slid.
I saw no slider.
The ball looked like it did slide.
Can you appeal the slide?
These guys are.
Oh, good. All right. Thank you.
Sean's giving them the slide.
10 serves 2.
But
Point.
Oh my goodness.
11 serves 2.
This is unreal.
well, this is just an exhibition for anyone who's watching.
Point.
Uh-oh.
And that killed as well?
That was, yeah. I thought they were going to call a screen, but no argument from Daniel. 12-2, Sean goes for the crack, misses it high.
Well, the good thing about it, and I was trying to do it myself yesterday, and not as successfully, but
Thank you, Sean.
even if it doesn't crack, it's the position of the player on the left that's coming right in on top of you. You tend to just see players palming it back up.
Yeah, you don't see much offense. In fact, it's almost impossible to hit an offensive shot. This ball might be appealed as short, but
Yes, sir.
I thought it was short from our angle.
I called good. 1 agrees, 1 disagrees. Point.
Tough call.
That is tough.
13 serves 2.
I even saw Sean kind of step up.
Point.
Wow, flat kill from Marcos. It just seems to me so far that everything is happening for Sean and Marcos. The serves are going in, the kills are staying down, and Daniel and Luis just can't catch any break at all.
That's true. I mean, those serves are setting the table, but during the rally,
14.
they seem to be a little bit overpowered, and also standing in the back court's not going to win you anything in doubles. You're going to have to get some type of court position.
I was going to say to you a few minutes ago when we were at 3-0 and all these playovers are happening, I said it's congested, that it's 2 minutes past 12. We can prepare for a 3-hour marathon, but then in 8 minutes Sean has reeled off like 6 or 7 aces, and now it's quickly up at 14-3.
Point.
But here are some points now from the Cordobas.
4 serving 14.
Nice crack serve, dug out by Marco Chavez.
Point.
That ball
Straightened out.
hit the sidewall and then pinched back down the sidewall again after it hit the back
5
wall.
serving 14. Point. First time out.
The Cordobas hitting some good serves of their own.
Yeah, that ball was a nice little reverse. And a timeout here. Sean Linning and Marco Chavez has had, you know, really the lead since the very beginning. And then Sean steps in there and does what Sean does, which is if he's not getting a crack serve ace winner, he's jamming you and you're paddling returns back, which are softballs for these guys. And then Sean's teeing off on the next one. If he gets it, Marcos has had a really good back wall game, but he's been retrieving everything, so it's been pretty consistent play from both. So that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing Marcos and Sean just kind of overpower the Cordovas, but as soon as the Cordovas get back in the court position, and that's because they're serving, they're up there automatically, you see just a big difference. You have to do that somehow when you're returning the serve, find a way to get up there, take away the court position.
Time in, first man, 6 serves 14.
Here's a chance.
Half out.
a bad miss by Luis. He'll be disappointed with that one. Straight back wall opportunity.
6, there's 14.
Into the floor. Short. No call.
Point.
Mustn't have been short.
7, there's 14.
Sean looked half screened there, but that kind of nearly up bounce shot that he can do, flat kills with the left.
Right. He also has a straight lane to that ball. We don't get to see it as well as he does. Marcos just dips that ball in.
14, 7.
From this angle, a lot of things could look askew. Nice dig right there from Luis Cordova. Looked like he was screened on that one, but he wasn't, apparently.
But it's exactly what we were talking about, isn't it? That serve, it wasn't a flat crack, but Luis under so much pressure, weak return, rally over.
Yeah, I mean, even having to dive for it. You know, when you're diving for serves, you're going to have a short day. Yeah, in doubles. That's rough.
That's saying something about the serve.
Yeah, because you line up naturally closer to the walls in doubles. And you're not diving down the middle.
Thank you, Marcos.
Cordova's getting a crack at their own.
Applying some pressure here.
8, 15.
It's amazing considering it seems to have been all Marcos and Sean. If Luis and Daniel could put together 2 or 3 points in this hand, they're back in the game.
Half out.
Yeah, you're right.
But that's going to be even more difficult now.
Well, Luis had a great look at that ball. Marcos
15.
Pinned in the back court, and he hits the ball into the ground on the right side, forcing it down the right wall, but still he should convert it. Sean just so aggressive.
Point.
Unusual miss by Sean there.
I think he was doing one of those short hops, and he just missed it.
Hold it.
Ball hit the window.
It's technically a very difficult shot. I don't see many players. Yeah, I know a lot of players might do that, what I call a half fly nearly, where they're just palming it back up, but he's actually going for he's snapping at it.
Yeah, he's actually hitting it with a sidearm stroke. It's not really a paddle. Marcos should get this.
Marcos not happy with himself there.
10, there's 15.
And the Cordovas are back in this game.
He had pretty good look twice.
Incredible hop by Daniel, reverse.
11, there's 15.
This game has kind of leveled itself out a little bit.
Takes it out.
Side out.
Luis, Daniel, very tentative over there on that left
15,
side.
serves 11.
Could it be called short, possibly? No appeal.
Play it again. 15, serves 11.
And an important kind of time of the game now, Dave, isn't it, for both sides in terms of Are the Cordovas going to come back and kind of level this game, maybe go ahead, or are Sean and Marcos going to pull away?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Daniel makes that first strike there and gets the half out. Hits a perfect kill shot. Marcos reviewing the ball, thinking that possibly it was broken, but
15 serves 11. Start.
Team Linning has not scored
Second serve.
in a few minutes here. It's been all flying Cordovas.
Chance for Sean. I think these type of rallies really suit the Cordovas. I know they've lost that one, but if they can extend the rallies, I think over the course of the match, I think the longer they can keep Sean and Marcos in the court will suit them better.
Both players, both teams think this ball's broken, but they can't find any break in it.
Point. 17 serves 11.
Sean doing some spin of his own.
Point.
Oh, twice. Are you kidding me?
Second timeout. Scores 18 serves 11.
I mean, both of those serves, Martin, he wasn't going for a crack. He was going for that fade into the side wall, both of them exactly the same way that they happened. That was exactly what he was going for. He did the second one the same exact way. I wouldn't be surprised if he does one of two things. A, do it again, because that's how Sean is, or just go back to hitting a crack on the left, because you don't know what you're going to get from him.
Well, that must be at least the 7th or 8th ace serve of this game, which
just remarkable.
Out of 18 points is an incredible return.
You've played Sean when he's in that mode.
Well, he seems to just be in that mode anytime he plays me. So.
Well, you've played him twice, I know, that have resulted in, you know, us watching him get into that mode. So you've seen it, and it's very hard to counter it. I mean, you only have a couple timeouts to call. That's the first thing. That doesn't really break his momentum. I'm not sure what you do to get him out of that, because you have to get your hand on a ball to get it back to even have a chance. And those serves are so good that you're really diving on serves to get him back.
I think the chance with Sean is I think I played Sean 4 times. He's won the 2 times that we've played in games to 15 or to 25. I think the first time I played him was in Salt Lake City in 2013.
That was at 25 points.
Yeah, 25, 6 or 7, doing what he does, I think. And then in Atlanta last November was another experience of that. I honestly thought he was going to win the tournament. He did something similar to Vic Perez in the next round. I think possibly it started the same way against Daniel in the semi-final, but didn't keep it going. The 2 times I've beaten Sean were in the US Nationals in 2016, and he came to Ireland once. They were games to 21, so
play it again.
I know possibly the longer game, I don't know, is it that it suits me better or doesn't suit him, but in a game to 15, if he's doing those serves, he's over halfway there, and there hasn't even been a rally. So
right. They're going to play this over, possibly. No call from the ref. Players all agree. Sean went right back to that slider serve down the right, and it was good, and I was surprised that Danny was able to get it back, and then Sean hits that sidewall, and that's the difference. It looks the same coming out of the hand. You want to come and hug the wall as a returner, but you can't do anything with it.
We're doing a lot of talk about Sean, but what I always find very impressive about doubles, and Marcos is probably in this category, is you can probably count on 1 or 2 hands, you know, less than 10, who the real specialists are on the right hand side, where you're only getting maybe 1 in 10 shots, and that you're still able to do it very well and effectively, like Marcos is there.
Right.
You know, he's not getting much play,
but when he does touch it, he's not messing things up.
Absolutely.
I mean, it does seem that Sean's playing 2-on-1 here. And there it is. He wins the point on a diving re-kill. And that's 21-11. Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez take game number 1. Martin, we're going to take a quick break. We have about 4 or 5 minutes before game number 2, so stick around. We'll get that to you here as the men's open doubles finals will continue from Los Caballeros Sports Village at the 69th United States Handball Association's Four Wall Nationals, courtesy of WPHalive.tv. Stick with us.
All right, second game, 0 serve 0. Side out.
Liking this new camera angle.
0 serve 0.
Everybody likes it, except for one person. This is game number 2.
This video, that camera angle just reminds me of that kind of, you know, intro to one of the US Opens that you had at some stage where you see Sean diving in against Paul. He's doing that sliding punch.
I love it.
The blue flames. And
0 serve 0.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I love it. First game going to Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez.
Second serve.
21-11.
Good dig out by Luis.
Side out.
A flat kill from Marcos with the left hand off the back ball.
0 serve 0. Hit you first, right? Take 2. Point.
Oh, incredible. I think you would need to see it from the cameras behind to really appreciate Sean's last shot there. Tuck it on the fly, overhand.
Well,
Just let it drop into the corner.
Half out.
That's almost like the shot you were talking about.
1 serve 0.
Millimeters away from having another crack.
Two serve 0. Point. Three serve 0.
Incredible shots.
Sean is just on fire at the moment, and I think it fuels Marcos.
4 serve 0.
I think we both heard Marcos there when he came out. He just said a few words that when your partner's actually playing so well like that, you're just like, you're nearly like trying to throw him the ball. Just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, he said it basically tried to stay out of the way and make sure that we just stay serving. That's all he really wanted to do. Not think about anything but stay in the server's box.
That should be a kill from Daniel. It should be rally over, or at least a few millimeters high, not a few feet.
See Sean taking a little break here and let Marcos do all the work, and Marcos puts it away in that right corner.
And from what I'm seeing here early in this game, I think what happened to Daniel there, and I know he was going for the kill, where they're rolling out for Sean and Marcos, they're just staying up that few inches and sometimes a few feet for Luis and Daniel, and that's frustrating when that starts happening.
But if you watch the communication between Sean and Marcos,
7 serve
and there's
0.
not a lot of verbal communication, but it's sort of like they're just, Sean says, I'm letting this go. Marcos is just right there, and there's another cracked serve. 8-0 now. And he goes for another one and just misses it. And that's almost like a bad shot now when Sean doesn't serve it and get a crack. 9-0.
First time out, Cordova scores 9-0.
We're watching an exhibition here from Sean. It's incredible. Even there, as you said, it's the next shot he rolls it out with the left, even on the not cracked serve.
Yeah.
So it's,
I felt that in the rally before this, Sean was taking a little breather and letting Marcos roam the back. Sean went in for an overhand spike, and at the last second pulled his hand back. Marcos took it off the back wall and killed it. And you're like, how do these guys communicate that? How do you know your partner's back there, especially when you go in and take a step forward? That usually throws you off, but these guys have this weird communication. They play the I formation. It's two guys playing singles at the same time, one in the back, one in the front. That way, you're both playing every single shot. And so a guy like Sean could be, you know, looking like he's playing 2-on-1 at the moment.
is a lot of it, Dave, that they have so much experience of playing together now that they actually know, without, as you say, communicating verbally, that they know who's taking what.
Yeah.
And they know where Marcos is aware of where Sean is and knows what Sean's expecting to be taken.
It's a guy playing singles in the back court and a guy playing the singles in the front court. So you're going, each player is going for each shot. So that's, therefore, if Sean doesn't go for it, Marcos is also going for it. Sometimes you'll see congestion between the two because they're both playing singles, and that's the last place you can actually hit the ball. But Sean's playing up front. He's playing that game where he's going to cut balls off. Sometimes Marcos is up there, and they'll switch. Marcos said the first time he was able to go play up front when he was with Vince Munoz was the day that he knew that he was a top pro, because Vince allowed him to go up front. That's the key in the I formation, to be the guy up front. Because you get to be more creative. That ball slid, and then a bad bounce.
What's incredible about this game is, it's something I mentioned earlier, is that 3 minutes past 12, it was about 3-0 in the first game. It's now 30 minutes later, 31 minutes later, and it's 9-0 in the second game. Like, it's just, Sean's on fire.
And the only reason why they missed that is because Sean took one between his legs there and tried to pop it and hit his shorts. That ball should have made it back to the front wall, and there's a nice little cracked serve from Luis Cordova. Sean then goes and just does the strangest shot you'll ever see for a rollout.
0 serve 9.
I mean, how does he's like a magician.
I don't know if there's anything the Cordovas can do here. They're not necessarily doing anything wrong. You cannot pick a flat crack serve. There's not much you could do about that last shot.
You have to start talking to Sean and telling him how good he looks. I mean, you're going to have to do some mental warfare.
1 serving 9.
Oh, just brag him up. You're the best player I've ever seen. You have to do something. I mean, if you're not talking to him, you're not trying hard enough.
2 serving 9.
Don't even know if that would work.
Probably not, but I mean, how would you know unless you didn't give it a good run at it? And if compliments don't work, go with the negatives. You don't look good today.
Side out. Side out.
Just try to give Sean something to think about, because right now he's on fire. And there's no slouch right there. Marcos hitting the crack. Luis trying to get it back. Can't do it. Another point for Team Chavez.
It's a, as I say, we're doing a lot of talk about Sean, but what's facilitating a lot of that good play is the confidence that he has, that Marcos is covering him in there, that Marcos is going to hit good serves as well and cover that right side and pick ball inside. And I think that the way Marcos is playing is giving Sean the confidence.
Replay.
I agree.
10 serving 2.
When you have full faith that your partner is going to be there and hit good shots and good serves. And there's another one.
11 serving 2. Half out. Sorry. 11, serving 2. Point.
Oh. I don't even know how to describe with that one.
Now at 12.
Look at this coming here. Shot of the tournament, maybe?
Yeah, that's tough. Off balance, and he just has a way of bending over the top of it, too, from there. I tried to do that one time, and my shoulder was sore for 4 months. And look at that. Sean lets it go. Marcos hits it back. Sean digs it again. This time it was a miss and a side out.
I describe Sean kind of as a real wristy player. Like he doesn't even need to swing. He can just
flip his wrist.
And the power that he can generate by doing that. And the skill that he has that we're seeing here. I think that's it on the serve as well. You know, he can go left or right at the last second.
So you're saying he's a wristy player or a risky player? Or wristy?
Well, that'd be a hurling reference.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Gotcha. I got it.
Fastest field game in the world for any of those watching that don't know.
If you're at home keeping score. Yeah. If you're at home keeping score.
Half out. 2, serving 12.
These guys kind of talking to each other now, but not in the positive. Oh, nice shot there. Little inside out poke down the right wall. Here's the replay of that shot. Marcos, look where he knows that Daniel's behind him. Daniel thought it would pop out, but it didn't do it.
Trick ball, yeah. I thought it broke.
Ball sounded like it broke. Referee having to get a brand new ball for these guys. This is game number 2 of this men's open doubles final at the Four Wall Nationals.
Siempre les digo, nunca me quieren dar una nueva, güey.
First game goes to Marco Chavez and Sean Lenning. It was an absolute clinic. Scoreline of 21-11 is not indicative of how big of a shellacking that first game was. I'm not sure if shellacking is the right word to use, but it felt like it was 21-4.
Hammering.
And it sort of kind of continued here in game 2. And I don't think anybody really saw this coming.
As you can see, the crowd absolutely packed. I think everyone, it's not necessarily a close game, but I think people are like, we're watching an exhibition here.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It certainly does, no doubt about it. Waiting for a new ball here. Referee had one, but I think the players declined it. Either that or it just wasn't suitable. The players were complaining about that ball earlier, if you remember, saying that it broke a long time ago, but nobody seemed to really pay attention to that.
So the schedule for the new pro season has been announced?
It's getting close. Close.
In the final stages.
I would say next week you'll see an announcement. We have to make a couple things official, then we'll do it.
Replay, first man. 13-7-2.
What has been your overall feel of the tournament this
Great.
nationals?
I liked it. Like a lot. The weather's been great. The club's been good. Laid back. Oh my goodness. Daniel playing, or excuse me, Luis now too far back on that right side. Pinned behind Marcos, who just plays an excellent right side. At the age of 45, he also has one of the best back wall games in the business, and he goes right over the top of that to get it in another point. And every second that Marcos stands in that server's box is more power pellets given to Sean Linning as he gets the rest on the left.
I know Dave Fink is probably the stats man, but I'd love to know, is this one of the quickest doubles finals in recent times?
16-7-2.
And it's no fault of the Cordovas, really. It's just exhibitional handball.
Really, it is. You're right.
Point.
16-2, I believe.
Nothing is going right for the Cordovas. Daniel going for a corner kill with the right hand into the left there. Skips it in.
17-7-2.
Will Sean and Marcos go for 3-wall doubles as well,
Yes.
Dave? Or
Yep.
They pair up in that as well?
Yep.
Half out. Half
And you
out.
think it's thrilling here, you should see him play 3-wall. It's even a little bit more exciting. Sean excels out there.
17-7-2. Hold it, hold it. Replay 17-7-2. Side out.
Marcos's wife and family watching this live broadcast,
They both agree.
not here locally, but
Side out.
watching it on the intranets. Wife Karen
2-17.
tuning in here,
Point.
trying to watch Team Chavez win another national 4-wall title.
3-17. Half out.
Another flat kill from Marcos.
3-17.
Both players looking very sharp.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
It's one of those days, Dave, where it doesn't, as they say, everything's turning to gold.
17-33.
But these guys are down there hitting kill shots from areas you can't even practice from.
Well, you don't coach anyone to play like this.
Point.
There's another one from Marcos. And another point now for Team Chavez.
18-33.
18-3 here in game number 2.
Thank you.
It was called a slide, but you saw a huge reverse hook on that. And I'm not sure that wasn't reversed.
Incredible intensity from Sean and Marcos. They're well up here and there's no let up there. As I say that, Sean goes for...
He could have let it go. Marcos was back there. That he tried to stab that with his left. But everything else has been working. Why not?
Crack left. Almost.
Thank you.
They call it a slide instead.
Play it again, 18-73. Short.
Well, reverse that time, but short.
Second serve.
I'm surprised that didn't roll.
Me too. Goodness. Marcos knows that Sean's down and he has to fill the gap, and that was not an easy shot to get. Watch how fast it comes off this right side wall. It kind of eats him up. He goes right with enough power with those shoulders. Kill that. Marcos dives down and just misses that one, but he was going for a flat kill. I mean, some players go up there and say, well, you know, I'll hit it 6 inches high just to be safe. 3-19 here.
Second serve.
They are the, I know they lost last year's World Final to Jeremy Nash and Robbie McCarthy, but in recent years in this tournament, Sean and Marcos have been the team to beat. I think this must be at least their third or fourth in as many seasons.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I would say even 3 in a row prior to that. They won in 2016. Myself and Andy Nett played them in Minnesota. Potentially were the reigning champions even at that time.
Well, 2011, Sean Linning won with Armando Ortiz. So he did get one there, and then they won in 2015, beating Armando Ortiz and Vic Perez. Not easy in a tiebreaker, 11-9. That was Team Chavez Linning. They won again the next year, 2016, defeating you and Andy Nett. And then they won the year after that. In 2017, they lost last year, and here they're looking to win it again.
Yeah, so they'll have 4 titles in 5 seasons.
Right.
Impressive.
That's if the Cordovas don't score 16 straight here, and then 11 more in a tiebreaker.
Not a betting man.
Before Lenning and Marco score 2.
I'm not a betting man, but I put my house on Sean and Marcos to see this one out.
I'm not a homeowner, but I would bet that you're probably right.
You see, where for Sean and Marcos, they're just staying down, whereas even that was almost a perfect kill by Luis, yet Marcos and Sean get a picky. That just they need to be flat.
Oh, nice. Marcos, 2 inches high, offhand. You don't see the right side guy using their left much, but he short hopped that with the left paddle and hit it 2 inches high. But you're right, when Marcos and Sean dive, they stay down, and then they have these wide arms, and they're saying, yeah, hit it at me. I'll go for a kill shot from here. They both do.
Side out.
The Flying Cordovas, they fly, they hit, they stand back up, they get back into position. Sean and Marcos just stay down.
Luis and Daniel are fighting hard, but I think we're going to see the game closed out here in this next few rallies. Maybe not.
Well, let's see what Sean does. He might score 2. He's going to go to the right, I think. And he was. He made eye contact with Marcos as if to say, move up front in the box.
Bit of moisture on the wall, skid.
A lot of players in there, a lot of heat. Look at that ball flat now. That's a great serve. Everything else had a hook on it, and that one flattens.
Chance here.
But look at Luis. He's stuck behind Marcos, who comes and just boxes him out.
I think if he was standing 2 centimeters from the wall, he wouldn't have got it.
True.
And here it is, match point. Marcos definitely not going to move there.
Don't know how Marcos got that ball back.
Incredible.
Sean might win it. Oh!
He wanted it.
Marcos not happy with the referee's call.
Well, he's not happy with it because he said something before he hit the ball. So I know I heard something audible before I saw it hit.
I think we're probably going to get a play over here, Daniel and Luis.
I don't think it was over. I need your help. What do you think? It was over, no?
See, this is one of those situations where that rule comes in. Referee says nothing, Marcos misses. We'll play it over. It was too close. But he should have just done that.
I thought I heard Marcos say something. I mean, I really felt like I did anyway. They're going to play it over.
So the referee has changed his call.
We got the consensus from the crowd.
Well, I have to say, Daniel and Luis are very honest players, and even yesterday in our game there was some, you know, we gave them a play over, they gave us a play over, maybe that the referee didn't necessarily see or call.
Second serve.
But my question is, why was Marcos hitting that ball? Marcos had both of them pinned over to the right, and
6, there's 20.
Sean had a real big, thick setup there that Marcos decided to poach on, and I don't think that was a smart move anyway. But these guys are dominating, so who am I to say? Oh, that was a good serve. Not much you can do with that.
Straightened out.
7, there's 20.
Natural spin. There's the opposite reverse.
There's 20. Boy.
There's now 9-20. No timeout called here.
9, there's 20.
I don't think Sean and Marcus are overly concerned because it's unlikely Daniel's going to serve 11 more of those, or 12.
And there's a replay.
9, there's 20.
Uncharacteristic miss from Marcos there.
Still no timeout, and they're switching sides now. Now this was a pretty big lead in game number 2.
10, there's 20.
Would you say it was 20-2 in game 2?
It was definitely 18-3, I think, at one point. Daniel is actually very good at that serve as well when he executes it, where he can just turn his wrist either way at the last second. It could be natural, it could be reverse, and he gets the weak return a lot of the time. I hope I don't lose my house that I don't have.
Well, I'm starting to get worried. I think you're fine. Look at this replay. Sean goes to the corner over there.
But that's what I'm talking about, isn't it? That when he died, it's like, it's a kill. It's staying down. You know, if it was Daniel or Luis, it'd probably stay up for them, unfortunately. Today, another day, they'd probably roll out, but today they're staying up 6 inches.
Yeah, he's diving and then putting some like reverse spin or topping it or something. Ball definitely stays down. A nice comeback there from the Cordovas, but is it too late? That's the question.
Would be surprised if Marcos and Sean between them can't make 1 point here.
Yeah, it's match point. 20 serves 11. That hit a crack.
Here, good dig out by Daniel.
Sean can hit a ceiling shot? And there it is. He does it. Sean Linning goes to the roof at the perfect time. Daniel cannot take it off the back wall. And there's another win for Sean Linning and Marco Chavez. They win 21-11, 21-11. Defeating the Flying Cordovas here at Los Cab. And here's that celebration from the two friends. Sean Linning, future Hall of Famer, and Marco Chavez. I want to thank Jeff Castor, Shay Lowenstein, and Martin Mulkerns for helping out with this live broadcast. But that was pretty thrilling. Got to see a kind of an exhibition there.
But exceptional play by Marcos as well, when you see there that he has titles with Norm Dunn and Vince Munoz in the early 2000s as well. He's one of those players. He's like Tom Sheridan in Ireland, who has like All-Ireland senior titles with 4 or 5 different partners.
Yeah.
It just shows how good they are.
Yeah, he may have won 4 with Sean Linning, but rightly so. He's won a couple more before that, like you said. He's won 6 total now in the open division. You see all the smiles and the high fives here for winning another national championship for Sean Lenning and Marco Chavez. 21-11, 21-11.